Welcome back to our channel. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, your time. Thank you guys for your continued support. Please subscribe to our channel if you haven't. Turn on the bell for more video. Welcome our new members to the old ones. God bless. If you're passing by, please join us as you're supporting us. May the Lord support you in everything you lay your hands. Amen. To the news and details, guys, here is Ola Yomi Koiki with Star Radio UK for more updates and the happenings in the country. You do not want to miss this. Please do not forget to leave your comments in the section below and turn on the bell for more videos. Thank you guys. Please watch.
Davids, and we've got in our North London studios the one and only Mr. Olayomi Koiki there as well. So let me just go around and say good morning to you gentlemen. Frank, morning.
Actually, good morning to our listeners, our viewers, wherever they are. I say good morning to them.
Okay, how are you doing, sir?
Actually, I'm doing good.
Great. All right then. Now let's move on to North London, where in our studios out there we have Mr. Olayomi Koiki. Yomi, good morning.
It's the 5th of August 2021. It is your morning show on Star Radio UK. It is the finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. I say good morning from this end of the London, 11:15, and I will come back slightly again to you in the studio.
Yes, listeners, that is Mr. Olayomi Koiki for you, who is going to be bringing you updates from Nigeria. But let me say good morning to Abraham Mawula. He said, God bless indigenous people of Yoruba Nation and Biafra Nation. All right then. Okay, so let's go to North London, where Mr. Olayomi Koiki is once again, and let's have a chat. The first update that came my way, that was the last one that came through. That was the granting of bail for these 12 individuals who were arrested. And actually, what was happening to them, that when they were arrested, I don't know whether the police didn't have a place to keep them, but they took them to maybe some room where a bare floor, and these people were lying on the floor for more than 30 days. Now, why did the judge actually grant them that bail?
Well, it was a very good one for Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho, popularly known as Igboho Osha, after the assassination attempt on his life by the Nigerian government and the machineries that was used as well. We must also remember that if he was at home on that, he was actually at home, but unfortunately he was unable to have been taken away by the federal government, either dead or alive, and that is why 12 people were taken away out of his home. Some of them are people working with him, and some of them were just people that were visiting, but Nigeria does not respect human rights. And let me first go into what the Amnesty International have to say, which would also correlate with the part of what this discussion in terms of what took place yesterday. The Nigerian security force have committed a catalogue of human rights violations and crimes under international law in their response to spurring violence in the southeast Nigeria, carrying out a repressive campaign since January. I'm going to pause there, but the question is, what took place in Abuja yesterday was a win, at least, where they'll be getting their bills, and that bill condition is being worked as we speak right now so that they can become free as quickly as possible. And after 35 days today being spent in the hands of the DSS, not just in the hands of the DSS, they've also been kind of a lot of inhumane, where we'll be getting more information from them. But from what we heard, they've not been treated very well. But for now, 12 of them have been granted bail yesterday by the Federal High Court in Abuja, and like I said, it's a win-win so far for Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho Osha. I'll come back again to you in the studio. This is your finest African and Caribbean radio station in London. Remember to follow us on our Twitter, YouTube, and make sure you click on the notification button on Star Radio UK, where you can get all the latest news. But tonight, the property hour will be coming up. But for now, it is the morning show. It is Nigeria, where we take you around what is happening in Nigeria and to Nigerians outside the country as well.
Let me go straight to Frank. Yomi was talking about the fact that, international, the Nigerian security agencies have broken down law, blah, blah, blah. Do you think African authorities respect those things?
Actually, what happens is they do not respect those laws to say, but one thing the African governments are very cautious of is bad press, international bad press, and that is why whatever they are doing, everything they want to do, the world should not know, outside world especially.
Okay.
So when it comes to international bad press, they are so much afraid of it.
Okay.
That is why a lot of African government, like the Ghanaian government, will pay companies like Bloomberg, CNN to do positive news about them. They actually pay lobbyists or media personnel millions of dollars just to plant one story either in
their favor,
in Times or Bloomberg or do CNN or grant someone an interview. They pay for some of those slots just because they want to get that. So when they have international a reputable international organization which has not just started its operation but have been part and parcel of the process of getting some war crime criminals before international courts and publicize their deeds, and these are organizations that are very credible internationally, then they are kind of afraid of such media publication. So this is good for the people who are involved. But one thing I will add is when they are granted bail, they should go straight to a recognized hospital, a respectable hospital, for a checkup before they get home. Body marks that could come from anything to do with assaults, torture, all those things should be made known, or should be their body should be examined before they are taken anywhere private.
Okay, interesting. Well, let's go to Yomi now. These individuals were talking about the fact that they had to lay on the bare floor. I mean, you're looking at them. I mean, yesterday we were talking about some coming in limping whilst walking. You could see that they've not been treated well. I mean, depending on what situation somebody finds themselves in when they've been incarcerated. I mean, you could be a very strong person, but the way you are incarcerated, by the time you come out, I mean, so what, like Frank was saying, he said they will have to go to the hospital for checkups to be done. Do you think they are going to do that, or have they just, and has the DSS actually said, okay, we are releasing them because we know they are a law to themselves. They say release them, and they wait. You come out of the court, they rearrest you, give you a pay, put another charges on you, just throw you back in there. What is going to happen there?
Well, the DSS did not challenge 8 out of the 12, individuals, and I mean, most of them we got to also say are Yorubas, so we have to always put that in the media as well, because we have the terrorists that are terrorizing Nigerians, and a lot of Nigerians are wondering why the DSS is not going after them as much as going after people that are asking, which is according to the United Nations chapter self-determination, and that is the reason why, even though the DSS put out that they had credible information that there was stockpiling of weapons right in Chief Sunday Igboho's house, which was a total lie, and as we can say. But one thing is the question you've asked is, what is the condition of these individuals? I mean, before we saw the 12 of them, they were coming in kind of in few. We saw the DSS brought 4, they eventually brought 8, and the judge was not really pleased with it, and the judge requested the 12 of them. Some of them are in high spirit. You could tell, I mean, I saw Omoyele Sowore in the court with them taking pictures and a couple of 10-30 seconds videos, and when you analyze those videos, some you will realize are limping. I think not just one of them, not 2 of them, but more than 5 of them that I was able to view those videos continuously, and as someone that knows what their condition was prior to that, you would automatically know that they've been tortured, and not just tortured, the inhumane of sleeping on the floor. I mean, even if you're a terrorist, you got to be taken care of. But it's Nigeria, it's Africa, you do not get this kind of services, and that is why, just like Frank says, they would definitely have to go through a thorough examination after the appeal, condition has been met, which I can say I've just come out of a meeting where a lot of work is being done, as quickly as possible, because we do not want them to be there for a very long time after 35 days, as of today, being spent in the hands of the DSS.
Listeners, it is Star Radio UK. Mr. Olaimi Koiki, in North London studios. Mr. Frank Davis with me here in the studios in London. I'm Archie, and we are bringing you the morning show. Wale Wrangler says they should be discharged and acquitted without paying a cent. Anyway, it's win-win. Well, you know when it comes to the African.
It's not a trial phase yet. So basically, let's clarify this: a bail condition that is being, which will allow them to get out of the courts or the custody of the DSS today, does not mean that the charges being leveled against them, have been dropped. They will have an opportunity in court in the coming days or in the near future to be working, to still be with their families, to still do what they, but the conditions to prevent them. I mean, I was traveling out of the country. They might have to surrender their passports and anything to prevent them so they don't have to come. But they will still have to defend themselves before competent judges to prove that the charges being leveled against them are trumped up, and there's nothing to do with the truth in that.
Okay. Start ready. Okay. Now, headsmen attacks the Emirates in Buhari's home state, bans open grazing despite presidency's open opposition to it. Now, if there is any argument here, what caused Sunday Igboho to rise up and say no more of that was the attacks by the what do you call them, the headsmen, and he's calling that, I mean, they should leave that state. However, we see another person who is in the president's own home state.
Kashina.
Yes, and who has come out to say that, look, this open grazing thing, we are not going to agree. Virtually saying that, get out of here. What has been the response? What has happened to him? What has the security agencies said so far about it?
Well, it's not just one particular part of the country that is facing a high level of insecurity. It's almost from the north to the south to the southeast, where Boko Haram have become talk of the show. And I tend to always remind our listeners that Nigeria, as of today, is the number 3 when it comes to the global terrorism index. I was watching just before coming on air the atrocity that was committed by Afghanistan, Taliban rather, terrorist group as well in Kabul, and you could tell that we are just almost in the same bracket. I mean, Afghanistan is number 1 when it comes to the global terrorism index, and number 3 is Nigeria. So that shows that the similarity is just that they are working on a different stage. I mean, we are talking about cattle herders that are killing people, and the Boko Haram and the ISWAP and the ISIS that have become using Nigeria as their next gateway into producing more terrorists across Africa as well. What is the government doing? The government says they are working hard to also eliminate and take them out. According to the to the Nigerian military, they are doing what they have to do. But the question is, when you look at the herdsmen, I mean the Fulani herdsmen, these have not been proscribed by the Nigerian government as terrorist organization. Yes, we know some of them are not in that kind of bracket, but majority of them, from the atrocity that have been committed, with evidence-based, someone like Governor of Benue State, Governor Otom, has continuously said he doesn't understand why the federal government have not done so much to tackle, the Fulani herdsmen that have come into the country. And most times, the president will say they are not the Fulanis in Nigeria. These are foreign Fulanis that have gone in through our porous border and have been able to infiltrate so much damage and atrocity to so many Nigerians from the length and breadth of the country.
Actually, it's very important that we haven't some of these, sound bites coming from the northern part of Nigeria, because it's important. Some of us have advocated to accommodate some of these Fulani in terms of their heads movement to create corridors, a cross-border corridor. We know the likes of Kofi Ali and yourself are beyond the side of the ranch. And I think we're getting to a point where even the people within Nigeria themselves are now beginning to understand that, look, this open grazing from one city to another, just following like a wind, the fresh vegetation, be it man planted, what do you call it, crops or whatever, you care less about, is something that cannot continue. And we're now beginning to see a pattern emerging. Because the last time, again, let me refer to Al-Haji, the Imam, one of the Fulani Imam, Al-Haji Bashir Suleiman, who is also a chief of one of the Fulanis. Very straightforward. The Fulanis within their area do not engage in some of these destructive conduct, and they themselves are facing a challenge for their own Fulanis who have migrated from different countries into Nigeria. And he was very welcoming of the idea of ranches, that if they can partner people, if people can come and invest in ranch and other things. So I'm very, very happy that we're getting a very good indication that, look, if we Nigerians, for instance, those in the south, might think that this grazing, open grazing, herdsmen moving from one destroying, is something that all the northerners, all the northern Fulani chiefs, all those who can identify themselves are coming from the Fulani communities and those we now having high profile individuals within that community. Look, this is not our lifestyle. We do not engage in that. Now the question then again is, if you think that you are Fulani from a different country, you are Fulani, and another branch call themselves Fulani, are beginning to see wisdom in going for, a ranch system, you cannot again justify that this is your lifestyle. It defeats that argument that this is our lifestyle, this is our way of life, because we have one Fulani over here and we have another Fulani over here. They have now accepted the fact that, look, the old times religion cannot continue. We have to look at what the present situation is and then adjust our life, and therefore there's no justification again going from one state to another, trying to destroy it and calling it, that's our lifestyle. It presents a challenge to those who might still want to side with those who go open grazing. It strengthens the argument of the southern states governors who are now coming together, who are saying that, look, we cannot allow open grazing again, because even if the Fulani themselves are saying, though, it's no more sustainable, then what argument do you have to present against that again? And I think it's a very, very good soundbite that is coming from the president's state.
Now, the southern governors were saying that, I think they were supposed to start the open grazing. Was it
expecting that on the 2nd of September. Some of them have already started putting those implementation in their state, like Ogun State, which I've been following as well. But again, some of the Mayati Allah, as is known, have put out a lot of statements in terms of kind of a threatening statement that if that should come into place, then there would also be a lot of instability. Like Frank says, you will expect every businesses to have their business done without having hindrance and having a lot of situation where an average Nigerian is being affected. Yes, they can partner with people, they can bring in the investors, to put it into place. And the reason why the cattle have been moved from one end to the other is because they need a better waterway system as well. All these can be recreated in every part of where the ranches will be. But we're expecting, the outcome of this open grazing ban from 2nd of September, which is just about a month away from now.
Okay, we'll see what happens on that front. But listeners, it is Star Radio UK, your favorite African and Caribbean radio station in London, bringing the time now to 11:33, and it is the 30th edition of the morning show. With me in the studio, Mr. Frank Davids, up the North London studio, Mr. Olaimi Koiki Amachi, and it's time for the update from Nigeria. Now, IPOB threatens Nigeria Army police unknown gunmen over killings in Southeast. Tell us more.
Well, we've seen quite a lot of statement coming out from the IPOB, especially after their leader, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, has been kept in the hands of the DSS, and we got to also remember that he was also kidnapped from Kenya back to Nigeria. So yes, a statement also I guess on the 9th, which is about next week Monday, and every other Monday IPOB wants to bring out a sit down at home to all their their followers, especially those in the southeast. But what we are getting here says IPOB threatened the Nigerian army, the police, unknown gunmen over killings in the southeast. If I take you back to what I said earlier with the Amnesty International, information that I was putting out earlier on, you could tell the atrocity, the genocide being carried out, by the Nigerian government and the Nigerian military on innocent Nigerians or innocent Biafra, that those that want to be known on that direction. Let's go back into it again. These, according to Amnesty International, evidence gathered by Amnesty International paints a damning picture of ruthless, excessive force by the Nigerian security force in Imo State, Anambra State, and Abia State. These are southeast part of the country. From January 2021, gunmen suspected to be ESN militants launched a series of attacks on the government infrastructure. This is what Amnesty is also putting out there, including prison and public buildings, killing several police officers. Amnesty International condemned these attacks, though IPOB have also denied all these atrocity allegation on them. And if I take you back to what the Imo State governor said at some point, that he has credible evidence that the attack on his police, INEC offices have got nothing to do with IPOB or the ESN. This is, something that the Imo State says, and this is still the current governor, that this has got to do with the politicians and some other individuals, that he's not going to reveal those details. But what is needed is an impartial, and again, this is part of what Amnesty is saying, what is needed is an impartial and open inquiry to determine what happened and bring to justice all those suspected of criminal responsibility in fair trials before an ordinary civilian court without recourse to death penalty. But what IPOB says, IPOB threatened the Nigerian army, the indigenous people of Biafra has warned the Nigerian security operatives and the unknown gunmen in the country to desist from killing innocent people in the southeast or face the wrath of the group.
Well, listeners, start Radio UK. We'll go on with the update. So now let me hand it over to you and then bring us more from what is happening in Nigeria. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, Archie, and thank you very much to our listeners that are watching us. Remember, if you're sending money home to your loved ones, remember to use SendWave, and the code is SRS for star, R for radio. Remember to follow us on our website as well, which is www.starradiouk.com. Let's now look at some of the other headlines coming out of Nigeria. It's exactly 11:37. PDP crisis deepens as Secondos tears government apart. Puma terminates sponsorship license deal with Nigeria. I mean, we were discussing this yesterday when we were talking about the sport. You can imagine a Nigerian, minister that had a 4 years contract with Puma and end up putting on a Nike outfit at the Olympic, and these are kind of atrocity, corruption, that is taking place, in Nigeria. So Puma have now decided to, enough is hard. They've put out of the Nigeria system as well. Ondo APC is well alive, according to Boyega Isiaka. Nigeria International Book Fair awakened the giant in women. Case against gender-based violence. That's another headline. EFCC arranged BDC operator for alleged 197 million fraud in Kano. Alleged defamation. Police launched criminal investigation against the precious Chukundi, the ex-wife of Femi Fanekayode. Gunmen stormed Redeemed Church, killed a pastor in Lagos. Let's take a look at that story, and then I'll come back again to you in the studio because the fact spent time already is exactly 11:38. Gunmen stormed Redeemed Church, killed a pastor in Lagos. According to the story, gunmen stormed the King of Kings parish of the Redeemed Church of God, RCG, in Madden Village, Ikosiketu area of Lagos, shooting a pastor dead This was last week Sunday, but the news is just coming out, as we can say. I do say all the time that news is underreported in Nigeria, because journalists have been gagged, the media houses have been attacked continuously. The incident disrupted the baby dedication service as members fled in different directions for safety. The deceased was identified as Pastor Bolanle Ibrahim. Eyewitness explained that when the assailants stormed the church, they made straight for the pulpit where Ibrahim, an assistant pastor, was praying for the mothers and their children who were brought for dedication. What a very sad one. Eyewitness further stated the assailant pulled him down from the pulpit and were dragging him out of the church while the pastor kept asking what was the matter. Another pastor was said to have approached the invaders and demanded to know what offense his colleagues had committed to having warrant such embarrassment in the house of God. Rather than respond, they reportedly hit the victim with their bullet on the gun and shot him dead. The assailants were said to have threatened to shoot anyone who would dare come to them. Members of the church described the killing as a clear case of assassination. But what we can say, they disclosed that before the gunmen shot Ibrahim, they showed him a picture to confirm he was the one.
That is quite worrying. This is hitmen that have been targeted. Assassination. I don't know. You see, there are things that the government is supposed to see to address, and these are one of the things. All these things that is going on, which they are not.
Some of these things are within the church fold. Some of these movies that Nigerian acts, they are them from reality. I watched a movie a few times, a few months ago, which has to do with something like what just happened. It has to do with conflict and competition between and among the pastors themselves about members. That you've come to open a new church in my area, you are drawing away members. Who is that man of God that is pulling away? I'm not saying that what.
It could be.
We cannot rule it out that even within the Christian folk itself, we do have this kind of unhealthy competition that to a large extent and some extent go to that extent where people send assassins against their own men of God. I mean, this is a situation where everybody takes to and want to belong to make money. Yes, there might be a crowded number of pastors, but not all of them will be there genuinely. And if they think that you are a threat to their way of making money,
then they will eliminate you.
So we cannot eliminate that. What we hope for is there any evidence? Did anyone able to capture any picture, videos of what exactly took place? Were there CCTVs over there that can help the police trace and track down those who were involved? Because it's after that. Because if they can get a picture of him to show them to confirm he's the one, it's targeted. They did not come to rob.
No.
Because they rob, what they would have done is like the video I show you. Where they would have
stand at the entrance,
collect offering before the church service starts, and make sure that when without me laughing, the government will stand there and be collecting the offering you bring to church before the church service starts. That is not what they went for. And this is a targeted attack, and I think the police should do us a favor.
Definitely they have to. Dave West, good morning to you. Hope you are doing very, very well. Okay, let's look at this the Puma sponsorship issue that has
the Puma sponsorship, and this is again, if we want the laws to work, this man can be charged for causing financial loss to the state, because there are certain conditions that we should know. When you sign a contract, an international, there are terms and conditions. Now, some of these terms will demand that your high officials cannot be seen as associating or promoting any competitive brand. You agree to that, and then you have a high-profile minister in a high-profile stage, or going to a high-profile event, and then he might not notice the impact because he has not read the contract in the first place. Those who signed the contract might not have read the contract in the first place. They were only interested in taking the money, right? Because if they've read the contract and know exactly what the contract contains, you know that even your wardrobe You separate things that you can wear privately.
Yeah.
And you know that
this one is for outside.
And you under no. I mean, you under no obligation to wear them in private. So why don't you do it? And if you go on an official stage, someone is paying for that. I mean, you go to promote something. Look, if for instance, Ronaldo, when he pushed away Coca-Cola, if the agreement with UEFA or whoever was that every sports personnel who appears over there will be bound. Will be bound to promote Coca-Cola. UEFA can be sued.
Oh, of course.
UEFA's agreement was that yes, we will showcase that. But the players are under no obligation because they have their. That is it. Because the players also have their own.
Contracts.
And therefore, UEFA, I'm a player. I mean, the interview. That is your cup of tea. And you get me. So. But actually, it comes back to the way we read agreements. And if we read, do we understand them? Or our interest is that because this is reckless. I mean, this is just reckless. And we should understand these are businesses, these are international business. They keep their eye on everything. In fact, they pay people millions of dollars to say that, okay, we put money here, we put money, and they want to see what extent is whatever they are paying having impact on, because they have to do ROT, return on investment. What is the return on investment of? I mean, we getting involved with the Nigeria football. They have to do all that analysis. It is not our side where some of these things we do not take them serious. But actually. I think this is out of recklessness, and again, it demonstrates to a large extent that we do not take agreements seriously. We do not read, even if we read, we do not take agreements seriously. And sometimes we think because of the way we treat our own businesses. So, for instance, Globacom, assuming Globacom has signed this deal, right? We will violate it with impunity. And still use our political connection trying to suppress them. That is what we've been good at, okay? But when it comes to international scene, they play by the rules. We don't know you, are not my family member. I have no one who is business. This is business. If you look at what is happening in Ghana now, judgment debt. You will realize that increase in a lot of companies now, before they sign agreement, me privately, if I want to sign an agreement now, I'll make sure I have an international corporation, international business or business registered in England that will partner with me in Ghana to sign to bring English law component into that. Because you cannot someone say, oh, Akrisa Akufado, Akrisa Mahama, and therefore you want to collapse my business. I have international law that will back me. That is what you see. University of Ghana now is suffering almost
$154 million,
$63 million just because they think they can just terminate agreement. I mean, recklessly. And you get me.
Well, listen, let's start already. UK update from Nigeria.
Yes, go. What Frank has been saying there, from what we get here and the reason for this termination, just exactly what Frank said. But let me add a little bit to it. The German sport apparel manufacturer Puma has terminated its 4-year sponsoring and licensing deal with the Athletics Federation of Nigeria (AFN). The German sporting giant cited a recent development at the Tokyo 2020 Olympics, where Nigeria athletes have struggled with unfortunate development, from 10 athletes being banned due to the Athletes Federation of Nigeria failure to comply with out-of-competition testing rules, to the recent revelation of the athletes being given a single kit manufactured by Alpha Sports for the Tokyo 2020 Olympic, despite the official kit partner was Puma supplying sufficient kit for the athletes, which were left behind somewhere in Lagos. Failure to use the supply Puma kit also saw the athletes miss out on monetary reward for medalists, with the kit supplier rewarding gold medalists with $15,000, the silver medalists with $5,000, while the bronze medalists with $3,000. The recent development was revealed in a statement by Ibrahim Gasu, led faction of the AFN. The statement reads, German sportswear manufacturer giant has now terminated that 4-year contract.
Okay, actually, when you started the show, you were making mention of demons, principalities, and
Yeah.
When we talk of the wicked witches and wizards, the demons and principalities,
who torment us?
These are some of the examples that we can cite. Nothing to be praised. Because listen,
witches and wizards.
These are not that witches, and they are wicked witches and wizards.
Wicked witches and wizards.
Wicked witches and wizards.
Yes.
Okay.
Because at the end of the day, look, allow me take a case of a lady, a young man who has trained all these years, counting his hope. Some of these people even have to go on an empty stomach to brace the weather to train.
Yeah.
Now, it is not their responsibility to ensure that the kids to where arrive at where they've gone to. They've gone hoping that, look, they even might not even know the details of the agreement. What they know is that when I compete, I'm able to get this. If I'm able to, then here they have won a medal. But because of the reckless nature of someone not taking their job seriously, someone just using their belly and their bladder, thinking that they are an official, they can just jump on the plane and they are part of this thing, is causing these people to lose money. So if the person will even have to buy a plot of land somewhere, prayers will not solve it.
No.
These are the kind of people who have now turned themselves into the giant wicked witches and wizards, causing these people pain.
You know, the thing is, if it were when they were saying, you remember when the World Cup, where Ghana, they said they needed money, the players were like, give us the money. They managed to fly money to them. So why couldn't they fly kits to these athletes there if they've forgotten it? It's our leaders. Oh my goodness!
And for all you know, it will come out if investigation is made that someone has gone to take money from Alpha because
that's even if investigation will be held at
that
all.
is it, because the alternative kit provider will have an interest over there because he can't. The alternative kit provider is not coming to that provide kits for nothing. So who contracted the alternative kit provider? Are you getting me? Some money has been paid to someone to deprive these people.
Wow.
And that is why Sunday Dare, which is the Minister for Sport, is the one trending as we take us to the Twitter, and also Kano is trending. Let's quickly look at some of the comments on the tweet of what is coming up. According to FS_Yusuf, in a country, Sunday Dare should be getting suspended from office and placed under investigation to dig out every shady deals. But I don't know what Nigeria is. According to at First Lady Sheep, 3 hours ago, Puma terminated his 4-year contract with the Athletes Federation of Nigeria over a breach of contract. But I can tell you, the Minister of Sports, Sunday Dare, will not resign. Remember, we had somebody similar to him, Solomon Dalang, did not resign. The next minister after Dare will not resign as well. This is Nigeria, a country of zero consequence. I'm going to take one more from that, and then we probably take a little bit of what is happening in Kano. Again, this one says, this is at Yakachanche. Tomorrow, some civil society people will hug the Minister of Sports, Sunday Dare. They will say he's doing well for the youth and that they have to work with him to move Nigeria forward. They won't tell him about this or even the young people whose lives he has cost during the NSAS. And I'm sure we relate to what Frank just said. Kano is also trending, and the reason why Kano is trending, the president's son, Yusuf, will be getting married to, his love of the wife, a princess as well. But that is not the reason for that is trending. It's the outfit. Remember, there's this Isba in Kano that look after anyone that is drinking too much alcohol, not putting on the right outfit. But the wife of the new president's son outfit has created a lot of conversation, and that is why Kano is trending today. They're asking whether Ishba will be running after that young girl and ask her to take off those outfits in a beautiful garment that she's got, but not to the eyes of Ishba. That is why Kano is trending. But this is Nigeria, and that is what is trending on Twitter.
Okay, listeners, update from Nigeria with Mr. Olaimi Koiki. We know it's taking a bit of time, but just one other story that I wanted to touch on before we run out. The Terror Lagos State government withdraws false murder charges against detained Yoruba Nation protester Tajudeen Bakari. Now, you give a bit of background to that story. And
well, let's remember that, 72 hours before the Lagos rally was when Chief Sunday Igboho's house was attacked by the federal government of Nigeria. That rally went ahead in the midst of so many commotion, but out of that, about 48 people were taken away. There was a lot of stress. It took them about another 21 days before they were finally granted a bail. But it seems the Lagos state government have now backed down on that. Also, there was a killing of a young girl, Jumoke, with a straight bullet from the Nigerian police, precisely in Lagos, even though the police came out to say one of the protesters was responsible for that. He has also been granted bail for now. So that is the background to that story.
Okay. Yes. Before you go, what more do you want to say?
Well, don't touch the dial yet. You still have Archie and Frank to take you through the next hour of the program. Thank you very much for those of you that have tuned in. But don't go anywhere. It is Star Radio UK. I'll be back same time tomorrow at 11 o'clock. And I say a very good morning to those of you that are still watching us.
Yes, listeners, that was Mr. Olaini Koiki bringing you updates from Nigeria. It brings the time now to 11:54. That is 6 minutes.